Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ladies Room Talk Show. I'm Clarissa Kenty, your Kingdom concierge. We're so excited about you being here tonight, and we have a great show. We have a wonderful cast that's going to be joining us here tonight, as well as the sponsor of this film and the director. Guys, it's going to be spectacular. So make sure you go ahead and share this live with your friends, share this live with your network of your tribe that's out there, so you can learn about what is taking place in Alabama. It's just some new, fresh things that's taking place. I do have some people on the show. There's no stranger to the Ladies Room Talk Show. And then we have some who are new. This is their first time on the Ladies Room, but we certainly hope that this will not be their last. And we're looking forward to having a great time. Certainly, I would be remiss if I did not give a big shout out to Lady Rita Smith. Lady Rita Smith is from Gadsden, Alabama. She came on the show last week and she was talking about her amazing women's conference that will be coming up in May. Now, it's already booked. It's already sold out already, guys. Already, but it's going to be so much fun. And certainly we hope next year that there will be an opportunity for you guys to participate as well. So again, Lady Rita Smith, thank you so much for joining us inside the Ladies Room on last week. So let's go ahead and get started because we have several people to bring on the show. We're going to go ahead and get started with Joe Williams. Of course, you know, Joe Williams has a virtual key to the Ladies Room. He's been in the Ladies Room Talk Show several times, sharing so many great projects that he has going on. So we want to welcome him back to the Ladies Room Talk Show. Hey, Joe.
Hey, how you doing, Carissa?
I'm good. How are you?
If I was any better, I slapped myself.
Okay, well, let's get to slapping then. We are so glad that you're on the show here tonight, and you have yet another project that you're working on. Joe, you're always working on something, and it's always something great. It's different. It's out the box, and you're in Alabama now. You're working on your project in Alabama. You come from Atlanta, which is where you reside. And so you understand you've been back and forth to Alabama and working on this project and this film. So let's talk a little bit about it.
Well, it's been a fantastic project, to be quite honest. I'm very pleased to work with someone who's been a screenwriter from Alabama, and Carolyn Bolivar. She has done a fantastic job putting together, acting out. And one of the things that I told you a couple of years back, my big goal was to come into Alabama and start producing because there's so much talent that's there. So very excited, and wonderful crew and cast. I mean, it's outstanding.
Okay, well, you mentioned Dr. Carolyn Bolivar, and I see that she's in our green room. So we're going to go ahead and bring her in. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you, Clarissa?
I'm great. You look amazing. So excited that you're a part of us tonight.
You know, I get really challenged with this technology, so you guys bear with me. I'm glad you can see and hear me now.
Yes, we can. So Joe has mentioned your name, and he mentioned that you play a part in this project that's taking place in Alabama. What are some of the things that you're doing, Carolyn, to assist Joe in this project?
Well, I am the screenwriter, and I am so pleased that Joe signed on with us. I couldn't have done it without him. And we've had a tremendous time. I think some of the things that have happened have just been miracles, you know.
Okay.
And he's my executive director, producer, and I'm producer for Acting Out to Save the Future. And we've been filming. We've completed filming at a beautiful Christian Memorial Church owned by Warren Minifield in Roanoke, Alabama. And we filmed for about 3 days, and now we're in post-production, and we just had a tremendous time. Most of the actors, if they weren't from Birmingham, lived in Birmingham, they were from Birmingham. Our stars, Betty and Bobby, are from Birmingham, but they live in Georgia. Okay. And Shakayla Jones, Janelle Jones, is from Birmingham and lives in Georgia. And we've just had a tremendous cast, and they're so excited. Eric Moore, Leonard Smoot, so many others are here to join the show.
Excellent. Now you mentioned Warren Minifield, and you are doing a lot of that recording at his church in Roanoke, Alabama, right?
Right.
Okay, very good. Well, we're going to bring him on to the show. Warren Minifield, how are you? And welcome to the Ladies Room Talk Show.
Hello, Clarissa. It is so good to see you again, and thanks for allowing us to be on your show.
I am excited. You know, I have a personal joy about this because I'm originally from South Carolina, and Warren was the one of a couple of reasons how I ended up in Birmingham, Alabama. And the backstory to that is I won the Miss Black USA many moons ago. And and he and Dr. Sloan were responsible for offering me a full scholarship to Miles College, and that's how I ended up here in Birmingham. And so I am forever appreciative and always forever grateful for that opportunity to be here. Because by him having me here and making it possible for me to be here, I met my husband in college. I have three amazing children, and just, you know, God has been blessing, and I'm just very appreciative of what Warren has done for me. So, Warren, what do you have to do? I didn't know you were in acting now. That's something that happened over the years.
Well, let me just say that Dr. Boulevard is responsible for that, and I have a very important role in the play, or film, I should say. And you know, just working with the director Joe, Carolyn, it was just fantastic. I've never been in filming before, but I learned so much, and it just helped me to showcase my father's church, who founded the church back in 1980, and we have just grown because of this film ministry. And this is just the beginning. They tell me we're going to do a lot of other things here, and I'm just so happy that they decided to come to our little country town. And I do hope that other people will come and find out what we have going on here in Roanoke, Alabama with the Christian Memorial Church.
Awesome. This is so amazing. I'm certainly looking forward to coming. I understand it's about 2 hours from Birmingham. So I'm really looking forward to coming and checking out the church and seeing what all is going on. So I know that Joe and Carolyn are very appreciative for that opportunity to be able to film there. I think that's very sweet, very nice. And I'm sure there's a backstory and some historical things about that connection too. So will we hear any of that, Joe, in the actual film?
Well, we were able to take Carolyn to give kind of a real reason why acting out is so important to our community, not just in Birmingham, not just in Georgia, but across the country for young people. And then to be able to have someone with a fantastic backstory as Dr. Minifield. You know, I keep meeting all these powerful men, and it just makes me feel so warm and energetic and things like that, because he tells a little bit of the story about the church. You know, we caught him off guard. He wasn't prepared, but he did an outstanding job. And as you listen to him right there, I mean, he's just a wonderful speaker, and he makes it really, it makes it more appreciative, makes you feel warm, makes you want to just kind of keep doing the things for not just Georgia or Alabama, but just for the world. You know, so we're very, very excited. I mean, he doesn't embellish like I would have probably thought. He's a very mild-mannered person, but then he's got a backstory. And he shared a little bit of that backstory that I'm not privy to share that, because it's his backstory. If you're asking me about mine, I can share mine. But I'm very proud, one, to have met him. I'm also extremely proud of Carolyn, because this is a project for years that she's been trying to get out and just didn't find the right avenue until now. And I think it just supports that.
Awesome. So now we have some of your main characters that's in the film. So who's your main characters?
Well,
The main characters are, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Carolyn, please.
The main characters are Betty and Bobby Robinson, Reverend Bobby Robinson. And he is also the new minister for Christian Memorial Church.
Okay, well, let's bring Betty and Bobby on, because they're in the green room right now, but they look like they stay ready. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them on into the show. Hey, Betty and Pastor Bobby, how are you guys doing tonight?
Just great. And we're so honored to be in this forum tonight and to share it with such wonderful people.
Yes, we're excited about the role that you guys are playing. So share with us a little bit about that role without giving too much away, and then share with us how you feel playing that role.
Well, actually, I'm playing the role of Alexa, who's kind of a kooky character, and we're in heaven, and I wear a long blonde wig, so I thought I'd buy a facsimile of that tonight.
Okay, okay.
To be in character. But anyway, Alexa is in heaven, and we've been assigned to help out the kids on Earth. But I kind of get caught up into the Earth thing. I kind of like the Earth thing. I like the jam. So, I like that. And I do a lot of things that probably angels shouldn't do, get drunk. But then it comes full circle. And I won't tell too much more, but it's an absolutely wonderful and well-written piece of work.
Okay, so Bobby, I'm kind of scared of your character after hearing Betty's character.
Well, the character that I play, I've been honored and selected to play, is a very commanding role. I'm in charge as an angel. And it's a very appropriate position for me as the pastor, but then I get to be the chief angel in heaven to send out my angels into the earth to understand the behavior of the teens and the behavior of the people in there. Not to give the theme away, but it's a very challenging and interesting role, and I'm excited about the play because it emulates the trauma that teens experience in their lives but are not discovered, and we can address that issue of traumatic experiences that teens are holding on to but are not being able to express themselves. So that's a very sensitive plot.
Right. I like what I'm hearing thus far because it's very relevant. It's relevant to what teens are dealing with right now. And I like this twist with Alexis here, with the angel with the blonde wig. That's quite interesting.
She can get a little earthly. She can get to be a little earthly, which is what we're trying to bring out from the teens, and she emulates the teens, and then she has to be placed under control.
Ah. I see.
And Carolyn had the long wig. The wig I'm wearing in the show, that's her idea, but it's much longer. And so it's very different. And it puts me in a different character.
Right. Oh, my goodness. Okay, Carolyn, next.
Well, the next person who I feel is one of the leads is Leonard Smoot. And Leonard, I met Leonard at church at Livingstone's Temple, and he was playing a role that just caught my attention for the Christmas program. And this was 3 years ago, and I bugged him for 3 years to be Dr. Madden in this production. And he followed through, and we're just so happy. He just fit right in, and he's an avid golfer. He's has won several years consistently as the best golfing coach at Miles College.
Okay, go Bears. All right. Okay. Hi, Leonard. You're on mute there, so be sure to take your phone off mute.
Hello. How are you?
Hey, how
Clarissa?
are you?
I am fine. I apologize. I'm in my car. I am the head golf coach at Miles College, and we just getting back from Jacksonville, North Carolina. So
okay, how did we do?
We finished in 10th out of about 22 teams, so that's not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah. That's not bad. We doing well. You would be proud of your college.
I am already. I'm feeling the love. So, Leonard, listen. I want you to be careful now while you're driving. But tell me a little bit how do you feel playing the role that Carolyn and Joe have you playing?
Well, I tell you, like Carolyn has said, we've been talking about this for about 3 years now, and I like, well, you sure you want me to do this? After doing the church play, and I always taught her I'm a big component of wanting to do the best that I can, and the fact that she asked me to do this, that she entrusted me in such a role that of this magnitude, and that she trusts that I would do a good job, that I wanted to do the best that I could and make her proud, because this is her baby. So I wanted to make sure that I poured everything and kind of followed the instructions of our director, making sure that I gave everything that I potentially could give as he directed us and guided us through this production. So, as Dr. Madden, the germaphobe, phobic doctor, yeah, that's kind of a nerdy role that I had to play, and eventually I kind of got sort of cooled down the stretch. It was exciting for me, and hopefully I was able to express and pour out and give the producer and the screenwriter what they wanted and what they needed to make sure this thing goes off well. And I enjoy playing alongside Alexa as the executive director. So that was exciting as well.
Okay, good. So you feel this was a stretch out of your normal behavior? Did it really stretch you to play this role?
It stretched me quite severely. It did. As Joe, Joe is demanding, so you have to be on point, and he expects you to be on point. So he brings the best out of you. So I was proud to be under his tutelage in my first opportunity being a lead in any screenplay. So I appreciate his leadership.
Okay, excellent. Wow. I mean, you have some heavy hitters in here, Carolyn.
Oh yeah, I went for the big guys.
I see. Who do we have next?
Well,
Carolyn, can I jump in real quick? You don't
you
mind?
sure can.
I think we should probably bring in Mike real quick, because
Okay.
you can direct and so forth, but you got to have the man with the lens, and the lens has to see what's going to make the show the best. And I know we have some other people here, but Chris, could you bring in Mike Joyner, who is our cinematographer?
Hey, Mike.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Mike.
How you doing, Carolyn?
Mike, if you could, just tell us what your experience was behind the lens and your crew.
Well, for me, it was a great experience working with Carolyn and getting to understand her story, and actually being the one who has a chance to bring her vision to film. So that was a wonderful opportunity, and just the whole the cast, the crew, the church. Like they said, the setting was a beautiful church, and we just all came together a couple of days and shot, and it turned out very well. So far, we're going into post-production, like they say, but the footage that was captured is great, and now we just got to put it together to finalize bringing her vision to film.
Fantastic.
Okay, so you were working with the crew, or were you on your own with this, Michael?
Well, no, I have a crew who, so I run Mike's Camera Action, and I had my crew, which is my wife and my son, along helping with me, recording, doing lights, doing audio for the production. So yes, it was mostly three of us.
And his mother helped us out too.
Okay. The head honcho. I like that. So Michael, tell me, was it difficult with the editing part? Because I have a media company, and I know sometimes when you have your meticulous directors, and I won't name them, we'll keep that between you and I. But when you have those meticulous directors, they can tend to be kind of, and so sometimes that makes editing really difficult. So, and I won't tell them, this will be between you and I. Has it been difficult editing these scenes with Joe and Carolyn at the head of this thing?
Well, we're actually just getting into post production, so But I think the way that it was shot and the understanding of their understanding of what was shot and what they want will make it much more simpler, but also it'll be some intricacies in there for the detail stuff that they want. But for the most part, a lot of it was straightforward. A lot of it's right there, and it just be some small edits that might be intricate. But for the most part, the story will tell itself once you just stitched all the scenes together.
Wonderful. Okay, so we're going right on down the line here. We got our cinematographer, we got our sponsors, we have our directors, producers, we have some of the lead roles here. I'll tell you what we're going to do. There is a conference that's going to be coming up at Empowerment Word Church, and that's in Alabaster, Alabama. And Dr. Angelique Simmons from Georgia is going to be the speaker for that conference. And I wanted to run a little clip for those who are watching so that they can get a view of the speaker and what she's going to be bringing to the table on April 21st, 7 o'clock p.m. at Empowerment Word Church. Let's take a look. Oh, goodness. Looks like we don't have volume there. We have to bring her back a little bit later. But she is a powerhouse. You can certainly go out to Facebook, and that's Angelique Simmons' page. And you can go out and check out everything that she is doing at her ministry in Georgia. And she'll be coming to Alabama. That's Empowerment Word Church, where Pastor Sean and Lady Gwen Edwards are the pastors. That's in Alabaster, Alabama, April 21st, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. That's going to be a night of healing and deliverance. So we're looking forward to that here in Alabama. All right, Carolyn, we're going to throw it back to you. Who's next up that we need to learn more about?
All right. I'd love you to know about my granddaughter, Jay Turner. Jasmine Turner is her name, but her acting name is Jay Lavender. And but I'm still Mimi, okay?
Okay.
But she came from California. My daughter sent her here to help us out, and she loved working with Joe. She was the producer and also assistant director. She was so good with small kids, animals. And there was no job that she did not kind of take to. She also had, I think, one of the more difficult roles because she has to play a split personality. And she's Jay Turner, and she has gone to California now, but she will come back. And she just enjoyed everyone so much. She worked with Mike with the camera and the angles, and we just loved her. She helped out everywhere she could. She's
excellent. Now, would her name be Karita by any chance?
No, that's Michael's wife.
Okay. So I don't see that young lady in the green room.
Well, it may be Jasmine Turner in the green room, but she is in California now, so I'm not sure if she was able to get on.
To make it. Okay. So we do have Jay, we have Karita, and then we also have Eric Moore.
Okay.
I think Eric should go next. He's very dynamic.
Okay. Let's see if we can bring him in.
Eric,
can you hear us?
He's muted.
Eric, you're muted. I saw you earlier.
Let me.
Hello.
There he is.
There he is.
I'm here. How's it going?
Eric, your screen is black.
Yes. Carol, if you can tell us a little bit about Eric and what he is doing in the play.
Well, Eric was absolutely tremendous. And it's interesting because he has a business called More's for Less. And he was actually helping my sister with some things that she had to do, which is right next door. And my husband goes out and asks him to come in. And I looked at him and I said, "You're my DeCarlos." And from there, we just melded and talked. And I sent him the script. He loved the script. He was excellent with the, when we were reading the script, he read with Joe. Everybody approved of him. And he bought his own costume. He practiced. He was excellent. Absolutely excellent. Eric plays a role where he had to completely change his look. And then he also came back and played another role as an extra, which was very wonderful of him. He's in the throngs of being a papa again. And how's your wife doing, Eric?
She's
Can you
doing
hear
pretty
me?
good. She's doing well.
Okay,
Yes, I'm
baby.
having some internet trouble.
Okay, I understand. I have trouble most of the time with technology, but he has a wonderful family. His son, 5-year-old son, is an extra in the play, in the film. And his wife is about to deliver their second child. So we really appreciate the attention that he gave to the film during this time. Thank you, Eric.
Excellent. Yeah, Eric, it sounds like you have a lot going on.
Yeah, I got my hands full here.
You do. When is the baby due?
The baby should arrive around April 15th, 16th, 17th.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, congratulations. At least you've gotten most of, or if not all of your recordings done. So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I appreciate you
Next,
having.
go ahead.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. I'm having internet trouble here on my end.
Yeah,
Yeah, you-
we hear you, but is that a Raiders hat you got on?
No.
Is that a Raiders? Okay. Because I was going to say something because me and Mike already went in about Pittsburgh, the Steelers. So my Chiefs are sitting there supreme. So you guys have to take a break. Anyway, Chris, let me digress. Why should I digress?
Okay. Well, we had a real treat with my daughter bringing the crew, the cavalry, as my friend says, from California. So we have Avril Hamilton. He plays the role of Alan. And we have a very special guest who is your daughter, Taylor Kenty, and she plays Alan's stepmom. And I said, well, the stepmom should be young and beautiful. And so she fit that role very well. And she was so gracious when we went to film her.
That is interesting. I really must see her in this role because I'm afraid I would probably see myself.
Well, I've been telling everybody about you. You're a tremendous actress and singer and host and everything. I'm one of your greatest fans.
Thank you, and I'm really looking forward to this play. This is going to be really good. We have two more people, Carolyn, who are in the green room. We have Karita, and we also have Jay.
Okay, Jay Sawyer. He is the voice master and a wonderful friend of mine. I've met through Joe and all his productions, and we've just become tremendous friends. We get in trouble because we like to joke a lot on the set. So, Joe, he runs a tight ship. So.
Hi, I've had a chance I was on a reading maybe about 2 years ago, I think now, Joe, where that's where I actually met Jay. I think a couple of years ago, we were on a reading, a virtual reading with Joe. And his voice is just amazing. I like the fact that he owns his voice. He owns the gift that God has given him. And it's simply amazing. So, Joe, don't be a quiet mouse now. We need to hear that voice.
No, Jay. I don't have that
voice. Jay, yeah. Joe doesn't have the voice. It's Jay.
Jay, let them hear your voice.
Well, thank you very much. I worked very, very hard on my craft, and it's fantastic. Thank you so much.
And what's this we, Kimosabi? We get in trouble? You get me in trouble, Miss Carolyn. Come on.
I know.
Please.
Now that's the voice I remember.
That is the voice you remember. It's good to see you. How are you?
I am great. I'm excited about this project and just seeing what Mike does to pull this whole thing together. I mean, it's wonderful, and I'm excited to check out your role as well. And what is it that you're going to be doing, Jay?
Well, I'm doing some narration in this primarily, and then I've got sort of a little role as I'll just say an answering machine voice that isn't typical. It isn't the typical, thank you for holding, please wait to
Right.
at the doctor's office. This is a little different. So you're going to have to actually see the film to understand, and then you'll realize later, oh, that was Jay, because it's out of character. It's not this normal warm voice or the announcer voice or the promotional voice that you would be used to from me. It's a bit of a character, but it was very fun to do. I was very happy that Carolyn approved it and let me do it. And I think it came out great. And she says it adds to the film, and I'm glad to do that for both Carolyn and Joe. Joe's known about my talents for several years now through the GPP, and I've known Joe and become very good friends with him over the years. And he trusts me with my talents, and so does Carolyn, and I can't thank both of them enough to let me do that and to let me shine. So I'm grateful for them to be here.
Okay, so Jay,
Carolyn and Jay are connected to the hip. If you want to have distraction on a movie set, those two, you can't have them there.
Cut.
I can just about imagine.
He's tough on us. He's tough. I'm telling you.
So, Jay, do you think it was a stretch for you to do this role, since it's a little bit out of what you normally do? Okay. So was this something that you kind of created in your mind and thought, hey, this might be cool?
You can't hear?
I can't hear him.
Uh-oh. Well, it's the Stoners Agency, and so he's sounding pretty appropriate.
Okay.
And Clarissa, let me add, this film was born out of a true agency and true situations with these students. And people tell me, well, the real crux of the play is about what the students are going through. And as a counselor, I heard many, many stories. This is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just basically four stories that we are telling, but we're also showing that adults have problems too. And that's what Betty was referring to. And Leonard, he's a germaphobe, and a doctor who's a germaphobe. That's funny right there, I guess.
It is. I mean, how is that possible?
Yeah.
And Betty she just played the role very well. She has some substance abuse issues that she's working with.
Okay. So what about Karita? What's Karita's role in all of this?
Karita is...
Let her tell you.
Karita. There she is.
She's funny. She is funny.
Go mute.
She's the most exciting person to have on set.
She's so funny. Hey.
Hi, Karita.
Well, I wasn't an actress, but I could be one now. No, I had a lot of fun working with Joe and Carol and everybody else on the production. I just did a little everything, and I had a lot of fun.
She handles one of the main things, and she's been very modest, is that she does handle one of the cameras, but she handles the lighting and the sound. and the sound is extremely important when you're on set because you have all the ambient noise that you have to block out. And we didn't have a whole lot of interruption, but we had a fair share. So we had to, actually have someone stand on doors and stuff like that, so people just didn't fall and walk in.
To keep me
And
quiet.
Carolyn, I mean not Carolyn, but Karita is the kind of person that, and Mike Jr., she's carrying sandbags, she's carrying equipment and stuff. She's doing all these things that most of the time you see men doing. So it was really kind of awesome. And she what I like about a woman is that they're not afraid to eat. Karita will grab a bite and she keeps moving. She's doing all this extra stuff, but she makes sure she gets her coffee on and she gets her eat on.
I love it. It sounds like you're a lot of fun on set. This whole crew, let me tell you, I'm so excited about each role and the part that everyone plays on this set. I think Joe and certainly Carolyn can attest to have like energy and good vibes is so important with a crew and with a cast. You have to really be able to feel each other's energy and feel each other's vibe. So there's synergy on the set and with each scene. And it looks like everyone has that same type of vibe going here. Everyone is just really happy, cool people. And that really, really, really means a lot. So, Joe, is this your first time working with some of these people that's on the cast, or are you familiar with everyone?
I'm familiar with everybody, but I never worked with Leonard before. Mike and Karita were at a 24-hour film event that I had a number of years back, so I know them very well. Working with Dr. Minifield was the first time, and Bobby has been on board with Betty when she did a project. Betty did a project for me, Unfaithful Espionage, and she had me cracking up. She got up and started dancing. Her belt popped off, and she just kept going, and things like that. It just added a lot to what we were doing. It was so funny. It was just, I still laugh every time I think about it, But Leonard was fantastic. I mean, just say that. But I tell you, the folks who did the monologue, oh my goodness, they brought it. I mean, Lisa Lauren, Tina, Alan, and DeCarlos. DeCarlos kind of scared me there for a moment because I thought he was going to actually go way, way out of character, like he was real life. He was going to jump on the police officer. I mean, it was kind of scary there for a moment, but he kept it nice and tight, and that's what it's all about. And I think the camera, when we looked at some of the raw footage of a week or two ago, he captured it. All of them captured it. So I think the average viewer is going to like what they see. It's just a matter of, like Mike said earlier, stitching it all together, making it make sense.
That is awesome. To have all of this wonderful talent in Roanoke, Alabama, Warren, I'm sure this kind of warms your heart. Was most of the recording taking place at your dad's church, or some of it was just in different places?
Quite a bit of it was done there at the church. And like I said, I really feel that the church was made for bringing people together, and it made the personalities it was just miraculous. And I think that was part of the setting. And I'm just so proud that I was able to work with all of the people that was there.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask, when is the screening? When will we have an opportunity to kind of see it before everybody else does?
Well, I think I'll stick in my nose in this. Mike and his team, we are anticipate having a nice, usable trailer by the 8th of this month. But our whole goal was to showcase that movie on the 22nd of April. But that's just in Atlanta, doing a spring fest that I'm having. We also got to do this in Birmingham. Or, we have to do this back in Alabama, because that's kind of, in my mind, that was the whole purpose of why I wanted to be involved. I wanted to bring the cinema back to Alabama so that we can begin to create more content, so that we can have some fun and people can be recognized. And Mike and Karita and their team, they have no problem traveling. It's just that they got to get used to how I work, because I'm kind of a knucklehead, and even though.
No.
even though Carolyn was the screenwriter, there's things that the director has to be made aware of and see things at the same time. And so I had to slap me when you see me, Carolyn. But I had
Okay.
to tell Carolyn, don't get overly excited telling Mike to do stuff without the director being a part of it. And those are things that you can work out easy. Because what I like to do is I like for us to have a production team that when it's time to do whatever, the dollars line, everything lines up, we all go together. Everybody has a role, and they don't step outside their role. If we get that done, we're going to be one hell of a production company. But when one person goes outside that line, it disrupts everything. So in order to do this thing right, everybody needs to know their role and stay in it. Jay, that means you too. But I can't have you around Carolyn when we're on set because you guys play too much.
Got to get it in somewhere.
Right?
Hey, Mike and Karita, quiet on the set means quiet on the set, right?
That's right.
And those two, you got to separate them. You got to have them about a mile apart because they somehow find each other.
He's mean to us, Clarissa, on the set.
I see. I am appalled.
Well, I don't want to run out of time before I talk about Shakayla Janelle. She is, my husband Zeke. Well, she is
Yes.
his granddaughter, and she's a tremendous actress. She's been in a couple of plays for me, and she's a fine arts major. She also lives in Atlanta now. She's a tremendous makeup artist. So it's like so many people had dual roles, and they basically came to support us, and they followed through. She especially followed through. She lives in Atlanta, came to Roanoke, did her part, did the makeup, and I'm just tremendously proud of her.
Wow.
Well, Mike did one thing he said to me earlier. He said, don't have everybody drip in at different times. And I like that because if we've got to be there from a crew and executive standpoint, then everybody else should be the same way. So when we need them, we can tap them on the shoulder, hey, you're up next. And that's extremely important to have everybody there at the same time. They can go in a corner, rehearse and do whatever. But when it's time to shoot, we don't need to hunt for them. We do not need to hunt for them. We need to know exactly where they are. And I have to say, I've never seen anybody with the energy besides myself that Carolyn has. I mean, she never sets down. I mean, well, I take that back. Karita's pretty close. But my goodness, I don't sit down a whole lot for a long period of time. I got to keep moving. But Carolyn, unbelievable. And lastly, I just want to give one big, strong shout out to Dr. Minifield. Dr. Minifield, you had a choice. You didn't have to let us shoot there, but you were never unwavering. You were always supportive, even when Stovia said, "Hey, you're on fire." Person, that's a story that maybe he'll tell you one day. But he was on fire the first day we got there on set, and we saw smoke coming from his back. He had got too close to the heater, and his jacket caught on fire. So I wish that we had a camera on him so we could have shot that. We could have had that in the bloopers.
All I can say is I was hot.
Finally.
Oh, goodness. All I could think about was Michael Jackson. Wow.
Let me jump in. Let me add right quick that Kermit Dickerson played our policeman, and he was so authentic that we thought we put him in another recurring role, as well as Artemis Craig, and she's a poet, and she plays the role of Nurse Artemis, which is also a recurring role from Joe's last movie, Plus Size, that's coming out. You gonna tell them about Plus Size, Joe?
Well, Plus Size is going to screen on the 22nd as well, and it is about 4 outstanding women who actually have a little extra weight on them, and so forth. But they also have a life to live, and they want to approach the world and be normal. And so they want to do normal things, enjoy normal stuff, and things like that. We do go a little bit into the relationship bit, but it's only an hour, because when we look at it, I really wanted to do an hour and 15 minutes, but we kind of left off a couple of pieces. We wanted to keep it short because Carolyn and I are already talking about doing a sequel to it. Maybe doing some 28.5 series, because it is a huge market, and not only for women but for men. Men have weight issues and things like that, and they get depressed. They begin to lose that self-esteem that you have to have in order to live life properly. So there's some things that we are looking at right now. Just of course, we have another project that's on the table, and it's called Gangsters for Christ, which is it's going to be a real tough, hard. I'm not going to say hardcore, but it'll be some very serious, edgy type of content. But we won't. We refuse. At least I refuse to do profanity, nudity, and all that other kind of stuff, because there's a lot of words that cut, just like those, those words that you have. Look at Jay down; he's laughing at us, But it's a nice shot. And one of the things, and while we have this open, I'm thinking about if I can get Bobby to agree to be the bishop. I am going to be the G4C, the Gangster for Christ, with the hat and all this other kind of stuff. Bobby is a mentor. He's my mentor, but I keep stepping in a patch of doo-doo, and Bobby has to kind of pull me out, because I'm trying to bring the outside community back into the church. And he says, but Bobby wants to only stay in the conventional style because he believes God will bring the parishioners. And I keep saying, it ain't going to happen that way. You got to step out and do something. I also thought about Eric as being one of the gangsters that's my rival as I go out into the community, because he's got that look. And no matter how I do things, he's fighting me, but he eventually comes on board, to Christ, and he brings his entourage. And very quickly, Bobby's story is he finally relents and lets up because the church is now making money. And most of the churches are led by MBAs, masters of business. As long as you bring that money, and they can count, and they can buy a pair of gangster socks or designer socks or whatever, they're happy. But the congregation is losing money initially. So anyway, me and Carolyn are playing with that story, and I'm going to bring Mike in at some point. Jay's already part of that system, and we're going to have fun. And Betty, you're in this too, because you are probably going to be a choir director. Because Bishop likes the way you bring the choir in. So anyway, and Carissa, we're wanting to go. We may have to ask you to come to Roanoke. And
I would love to.
And be a worship leader.
I would love to come.
But Carol's got another young lady that she's talking about who's going to be the mother of the church. That means the mother of the church is going to have the flowery hat. We're going to be some scenes like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We hope to get this thing done in 2 shoots, and then turn it back over into Mike's hand and have him, go ahead and work the tools on it. So,
this is great. It sounds like you guys have so much that you're doing. And what I like is that when one project is done, another one is already in the works. Because you can just continue to expect so many wonderful things, and it's consistent. I hate to have lags in between certain things. You do something, and then it's 4 or 5 years later, then you do something else. I like the consistency, and that you guys have a lot in your arsenal, and you're just firing them out. Yeah. And I am excited. I'm super duper excited. And I just want to thank all of you just for taking out the time to hang out with us inside the Ladies Room Talk Show. I know that as guys, to be in the ladies' room is probably not the most masculine thing. Most of you kind of walk in the ladies' room by mistake and say, "Oh my gosh," and then you step out. I'm sure you've never been in the ladies' room for 50 minutes ever.
I got 5 sisters.
Oh, well, you probably have then, Joe.
Well, I want to congratulate my daughter, Mignon Turner, who drove forever to get here, and she played the newscaster part. She has 2 scenes as the newscaster, And my other granddaughter, Jordan Turner, wanted to do a dance, so she's a mute dancer. Uh,
Okay.
and it started out as a Janet Jackson impersonator, but you know, she's a mute dancer. And I'd like to also congratulate Vanessa Watkins. She recruited quite a few people to be a part of the coronation ceremony
Hmm.
in the play. The drummers that we had, the dancers, and let's see, you know, with craft services, people want to eat. So I want to also thank Charlotte Woody for keeping the food rolling, and Warren Minifield for having the church and the beautiful church and the facility so well kept and so beautiful. We appreciate it so much.
Yes, awesome, awesome, awesome. Big kudos to everyone. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with us inside the Ladies Room Talk Show. We look forward to getting some announcements as when the show will be ready for us to view and to check it out. And I'm looking forward to Warren hanging out with you guys in Roanoke, Alabama.
Good.
So I look to make that trip within the next couple of weeks, hopefully before then, and kind of see what's going on there at the church. I am really looking forward to that. Again, Joe, Carolyn, congratulations to you guys for doing such an amazing job and just bringing this stellar cast together. These guys rock. They are on fire. I love all of them, and I certainly can't wait to meet them individually. And I certainly can't wait to meet those characters. I am looking forward to seeing those characters on the big screen. So, again, thank you guys so much for joining us and hanging out with us here tonight. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us inside the Ladies Room Talk Show. Be sure to
Thank
share
you.
this live. Share it, share it, share it. Put it on your screens. Put it on your stories. Take the link and send text messages out. Tell everybody about what's taking place in this new in Alabama, a very new show coming down the pipeline, and we are looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Joe and Carolyn, for
Thank
bringing
you
this to Alabama. All right, guys,
so
thank you so
much.
much for joining us, and have a wonderful and safe week, and we'll see you back here next week. Good night.
Thank you. Bye bye.